So moving on to a little bit of you, a bit more about John. So you're 81 this year, how do you maintain your energy and focus?
Getting back to passion again, I'm passionate about what I do. I was driving into the office, I don't know, it might have been last summer on a Saturday morning, because I go in every Saturday, as I've told you. 7:30 in the morning. I live in Mosman Park. I'm driving along Mounts Bay Road, Swan River there, Kings Park on the left, not a cloud in the sky. And I thought to myself, and I'm a very pragmatic person, John, is there anything in the world you would rather be doing on this cloudless Saturday morning than drive into the office? And the honest answer, Michael, was there was not. Yeah. I was looking forward to it. I'm so lucky because I'm so passionate about what I do. So that's it. Okay. I look after myself.
Well, I was going to ask you, what are some of your morning rituals?
Well, when you look good, you feel good.
Yeah.
You know, and I get to bed at a reasonable hour, 9:30, 10 o'clock's late now. Yeah. I'm up by 5's a bit late. I've sometimes had breakfast by 5 o'clock. Not often, but not infrequently either. I exercise. Yeah. I've done 2 marathons in my younger days. Yeah. Can't do that anymore, but I walk for 1 hour and 3/4 every Saturday afternoon, every Sunday afternoon. I've a fitness trainer comes down twice a week, so Thursday mornings early and Sunday afternoons.
Good on you.
And I've got to tell you, on Sundays, after I've walked for 1 hour and 3/4 briskly up and down hills and done immediately after that an hour of boxing and weights, yeah. I'm ready for a few Chardonnays and I can drink them without compunction. So, to answer your question, passionate about what you do, looking after yourself, keeping fit, and I keep a positive attitude. I never, ever, ever feel negative. You know,
how do you manage that? I mean, some days you have good days, bad days?
No, I've never had a bad day. And that, look, I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear. I'm telling you the truth. I never have a bad day because I turn that around. Look, I'll share this one with you, and this is a John Hughes-ism. This is unique. I think handling the strains and stresses and pressures of life is very much like a game of cricket. You've got a piece of wood in your hand called a bat. You've got 3 sticks behind you called stumps. You've got 10 people out there wanting to catch you out. And you've got 1 person at the other end who's going to throw a hard, round, red ball at you 6 times. Now, on average, 4 of those 6 balls you don't touch. You don't play them. Because if you play them, you might get caught out. You put your bat on your shoulder and let them go harmlessly past. They will not hurt you if you don't play them. Envy, frustration, anger, anxiety, low self-belief, fear of depression, dejection, despondency, fear of failure, peer pressure, words and actions of angry or nasty, aggressive people, peer pressure. Don't play it. Won't hurt you if you don't touch it. Put your bat on your shoulder and let it go harmlessly past. On average, 1 of those 6 balls is what's called on good length and it's on the middle stick, and you've got to deal with that. So you get your body behind your bat and you go bang. You've dealt with it, you put it away. No more, dead, finish. And on average, 1 of those 6 balls is a loose ball you can score from. It's an opportunity. The trouble is too many people try to play every ball, and too few people know which balls to let go, which ball to block, and which ball to score from. And Michael, I shoulder my bat 15 or 20 times a day. Don't sweat the small stuff. A number of times I used to say to people, I'd have 100, 150 people out there, I say to them, when was it that you've ever had a problem that was so grievous, so daunting, that you'd lose sleep over it? You might even lose your appetite. And yet when it finally comes to the point of your nose, it's either gone away or it's nowhere near as bad as you thought it was going to be. Number of people that would go like that was in the hundreds.
95 or 99% of the things we worry about never eventuate.
And why would you worry about something over which you've got no control?
At what stage in the past 60 years of being a successful businessman did you actually feel like you'd made it, or I've arrived?
I wasn't successful for 60 years. I haven't been successful for 60 years. I've been successful. Good question. If I could look, I think going through life is like changing gears in a manual car. We all start off in first, most get into second, some get into third, a few in fourth, a few in fifth. Now you get six speed boxes. Not many get into fifth and sixth. And I can look back at my life now. I didn't know at the time, and I know now when I was changing gear, because your tastes change, you know, and your tastes in everything, you change, you know, you mature, and you're going from first to, you are. And every time you go up a gear, you're getting better. When did I really think I'd made it? Very recently, because I was never satisfied. You know the definition, a good definition of ambition? Continual, unabated dissatisfaction. Don't be too easily satisfied. Yeah. Keep striving, keep going. Is it to do with money? The advantage of money is that you can measure it. I mean, if I were a university professor, I don't quite know how I'd measure my efficiency or my ability. Is it the number of my students who get honours degrees? It's the number who attend the class? But if you're in business, it's easy. You know, you made $100, you made $1,000, you made $10,000 or whatever. A great measure of success. I think, did I ever stand back on any one day or week or month and say, John, you've made it? No. It gradually builds on it. And the more successful you get, the more secure you become financially, the better you become. Gives you more confidence, more self-belief. Best thing about being successful money-wise, gives you fantastic self-belief.
And did you believe John Hughes would be as successful as it is today?
No. If someone had said to me, you know, when I started 30, 40 years ago, you know, living where I'm living, doing what I'm doing, you know, I said, oh, really? Wow. You know.
Look forward to that.
Yeah, wow. Don't forget, I came from a very humble background. Yeah.
So what do you want to be remembered for?
Honesty. Putting an enormous amount of credibility into a business that when I started in it had no credibility at all. Being forthright, being trustworthy, being hopefully a good role model, certainly a good role model. It's very trite to say, and just a good person. And that's trite, you know, I want to be better than that. But I mean, yeah, just a good person. Someone you can trust. I mean, I can shake somebody by the hand, and that's a deal. That's it. And there's no prevarication, there's no changing your mind. Yeah.
And for the next 2 to 3 years, or personally, is there anything in particular that you want to achieve in the next 2 to 3 years?
Just keep going, doing what I'm doing now, only doing it better and bigger.
Yeah. So 60 years in business, I'm interested, what would be your top 3 business tips?
Know what you're doing. I'll give you a few more than 3.
Okay.
Know what you're doing. I've covered some of this before. Know what you're doing. Employ good staff. You're only as good as the people who work with you. Put your customers up on a pedestal. Eat, sleep, drink and breathe your business. Don't play at it. Not a sort of pastime. Get the correct balance between family and business. That's important. Chunk your time, which is I do. 8 in the morning till 6 at night, whatever it is, that's my business time. 7 o'clock at night till 7 o'clock in the morning, that's family time. Live in watertight compartments and enjoy it. Yeah. Just enjoy what you do and be proud of what you do.
It's pretty tough out there in WA at the moment. You know, there's a lot of small businesses struggling.
Question. Yeah.
Well, any advice for those type? Or
yes.
where do you see the opportunities?
Yeah, okay. Well, but it's particularly tough for those who've just started up in business the last 3 or 4, 5 years, because we've been up there. And if you've just started in business, you think, oh, wow, this is fantastic. Then you go out and you live accordingly. You know, you buy the second car or the boat or whatever you do. I'm not into boats, but instead of here, where we should have normally been, we've come down to here. So it's a big drop. Now we're slowly inching our way up. It'll take 18 months. So if you've been up here and down here and you never experienced that before, it's frightening. You don't know what to do. I've been through it 4 or 5 or 6 times, so I weather the storm. Keep your costs down low. You can't, I mean, your 2 biggest costs in running any business, most businesses, is your staff and your advertising and maybe your rent. Can't do much about your rent. Just make sure you're not taking on more space or occupying more space than you need. Make sure you've got good quality staff. Pay them well, but don't have even a quarter too many. And just work harder. Stick to the knitting. Stick to the knitting. We're going through tough times, but there's still a lot of money to be made. The public have got the money, but instead of going along the top and scooping off the gold with a rake, you've now got to get out the shovel and dig deeper. The gold is still there, but it's not on the top. You've got to dig deeper for it.
John, it's been a pleasure getting to know you a bit more and learning about your success. Thank you very much for your time. As a gesture of our appreciation, we'd like to give you a scholarship for one of your senior managers.
Oh, thank you.
We've got we've designed the business growth program from the roundtable that you participated in with the other 20 CEOs.
That was good, incidentally. I thought you would have got a lot from that, which you can then give back to your future clients.
Yeah. So we'd like to pass that on to you, and we'd be grateful for someone to come on.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Good on you.
Thank you, Michael.
Thanks, John.